I'll be back later.
Well, you had to figure out what's going on because Rob and I don't look at what they call a schedule. We never really know what we're supposed to be doing, which is irresponsible, but it is the pattern we set for ourselves. And what they say, if it ain't broken, don't fix it, or if it's too broken, just leave it broken. And I feel like we're so broken at this point. As you stand please towards the exit, remember, please don't step on each other. This is not World War Z. And before you stand me to the exit, you might not want to stand me to the exit, because you might want to see our next guest. He is awesome, fantastic, fun, and a visual feat, ladies and gentlemen. Ruth.
Have you had a good weekend? Just a good weekend or a great weekend? I think this. Oh, did you forget your bum?
Glasses.
Oh, just your phone and your glasses. All right, folks. I think this is going to go down as one of the most memorable conventions ever. It's been so wonderful to meet new people, to see old faces, not old faces, familiar faces. And thank you everyone, it's been such a warm-hearted convention. I've really enjoyed it. So, I should answer a question. Should I? Nah. Listen, what's your name? Where are you from? What do you want?
Hi, my name is Shannon. I'm from Northern Virginia. No, but it's kind of, you've seen the versions. Sorry, I was on the left side. But I'm a bit nervous. You're one of my favorite actresses that I've seen. Your personality, your energy is just amazing. I was inspired by your panel yesterday. Just listening, I was in awe. My question might be a little heavy. I know some people have been softballing theirs, but yeah, sorry.
Feel free to softball it. No, go for it. I've got my lucky charm on.
Good. As an actress, you're often subjected to the perception of the public. Have you ever handled moments of high stress within their comments of biased praise or projection of you? And how have you dealt with it?
Can you say that again?
So, okay.
Say it really loud.
Okay. As an actress, you're often subjected to the perception of the public. How you're viewed, how you're seen, what you're wearing, often how do you handle moments of high stress when receiving the comments of biased praise or projections of you, and how have you dealt with that?
So the first time I was ever offended was when somebody said that my accent was cod. And that means it's like a bad accent. But I'm like, this is my voice. A fan was watching Supernatural and presumably had an American actress trying to do a Scottish accent. And I was like, wow, my own accent doesn't pass. People don't believe I'm Scottish. And it was funny. It was a moment where I was like, oh. And then I thought it was funny. During the course of, did I just do it? I just said something about the show and I'm not allowed to.
Won't say anything.
No, sorry. Anyway, I didn't say which show. There being some other show. Sorry. We're nearly there though. I know the strike is nearly over. So. Happy. Can I just waffle? I'm just going to waffle. Because I started that way and I'm going to finish that way. Going on the strike marches, the first day I went down to meet Beth Schwartz, and Jeremy Carver was there. It was so nice. Then the next day I think I went with Bob Behrens and Jenny Klein and Ben Edlund were there. And then the next time we went, Kripke was there, and it's truly been obviously terrible in that it's very clear the priorities of the certain money people in charge of things. The priorities are very clear. But how wonderful that we all got to connect so much, and there was so much love and support, and so much support from fans and everyone. And it's actually been some of the most uplifting experiences I've had this year, even though it's from a very difficult thing and people are losing their health insurance, and that's what we're really fighting for, those kind of things. But it's been a wonderful time to connect with people who you've worked with, whatever capacity. That doesn't answer your question, I just wanted to say that after putting my foot in it. Talking about food. It's sometimes the kind of backhanded compliments that are kind of funny, and I just think humour is always the way through. The only time that ever got a little bit serious for me, and it's hard to talk about because it's all in context of a certain show, but how do I say this without saying it? I one time got drawn into a discussion on a social media platform, and it seemed to escalate quite quickly. And it's a tricky thing to navigate sometimes. And I'm fairly diplomatic, I think. And so I got really thrown by the fact that my diplomacy was not landing. My diplomacy was misfiring. And eventually I just blocked the shit out of 10 people. Because sometimes that's what you have to do. You don't have to let all that stuff in. You're human too, and you can always disagree. And one of my favorite things to do is in the green room, and we're having a discussion, and somebody has a slightly different politics. And I love not having the same opinion, but being able to discuss things and stay relational and agree to disagree. And I think at best, our fandom does that. It has people on both sides of the aisle, right, often, and somehow we meet in the middle, and I think that's the way forward with everything. So in answer, to circle back around to your question, I think humor is important, and having, just at some point going, I don't have to let this in, but what I will say is, all of that stuff, the difficult stuff, is like 0.001%, really. And I feel really fortunate that I've had so much positivity and positive affirmation. And it especially gives me joy when people say things to me like, I really hated you at first. Now I like you. And I'm like, it's not good. You've got to have a sense of humor. I think ultimately realize it's not rocket science that you're doing. And that you're in a really fortunate position that anybody cares to discuss you at all. Is what I would say. Did I actually answer your question?
Yeah, you did.
Okay.
Just taking forward from that, blocking the shit out of people.
Blocking the shit out of people is a good one. I'd never done it before. I'd never done it, and I was like, oh, this button exists for a reason.
It's empowering.
It was. But sometimes it needs to be that strong a boundary, because you can't rationalize, you can't. Especially not over a social media platform at times, it's almost impossible. One time I had a really cool discussion with a guy who lived in a completely different part of America, and he did some kind of manual trade, and he said something about actresses in Los Angeles being out of touch. And I said to him, it's only 2 or 3 years ago that I was earning $13 a night if I went on stage as an understudy. I grew up on a farm. I've been a barista. I've done so many different jobs up to this point, and maybe I'm not so removed as you might imagine. And we actually had a discussion, and some fans kind of came to my rescue more than I needed them to, which I really appreciated. But by the end of the conversation, he was like, thank you for explaining. Thank you for taking the time. And I really tried to do it whilst honouring his point of view, because I really understand what that is, to work really hard for a wage per hour, and then see something online that somebody says, some politically correct thing or PC thing that's annoying. And I think, sometimes I think those kind of discussions are really valuable, but it's tricky, isn't it, on social media? It's real tricky. And sometimes you just want to say this smart ass thing. And it blows up in your face. Anyway. Are you all still awake? Do you have any questions? Do you want to ask any questions? No? If you don't fit, then How are you? What's your name? Where are you from? Everyone? Hi.
My name is Jason. I'm from Maryland.
Hi. It's okay. I'm not gonna bite you. I'm walking towards you.
Please keep doing it. My question is, were you ever pranked by J2? And if so, what was it? And if you weren't, what was your favorite prank that they have played on someone? Or that got played on them?
Who's under 16 in the room? Oh, under 16.
I thought you said
God bless you,
60.
you're not under 16.
It's like, wait.
I love it. You're not under 16. So, I come from a theatre background, and the thing about theatre is the show must go on. You just keep going. So, do you remember a scene where I was sitting in handcuffs in a chair, and Jordan and Jensen were in the others, they were part of the scene, and they had a bag with my stuff, and I don't know, the camera was on me. They opened this bag of stuff, and I've never said this out loud at a convention before, but I'm going to say it now because why not? This is for you, Krista. Jared walked towards me with a gigantic black sex toy. It was some kind of industrial heist. And I just finished the scene. And then I tried to get them back. We had a lot of lube. looks like water and blah blah blah. Anyway, you know the drill. So I one time walked into a scene holding a gigantic literal loop, and Jared and Jensen just finished the scene. He just looked at me, and Misha, bless him, he saved the joke, which I felt I was dying on my arse standing there. The camera was behind me, and I was holding it here, like you can see from behind. And Misha just went, well, I know what to do with this. And just scooped me up in his arms and carried me off. So thank you for your question. I've never told the truth about that before. First time for everything. Hello.
Hello. So a friend of mine and I were discussing accents last night. So we were wondering if you find the longer that you've lived here in the U.S., if you find your accent slipping.
So if I do I was going to say Skype, but Skype's Zoom or whatever it is. If I do a Zoom home and or even just now, it's more my cadence because I speak more slowly here to be understood. But I remember quite early on just saying something. My stepbrother was on the video screen with my nieces and nephews, and I said something that was like, oh, and that's all. I did not think I had an American accent. But then, just in the green room there just now, I said something like, oh, you having a good blather. And 5 American men all just went, what? I said, blather, you having a good blather? And then we had this whole discussion about the difference between blather and blather. A blather is someone who just talks shit. It's really foul mouth today. I'm sorry it's a Sunday as well. The worst. So I still, those words are still in there, the Scottish words are, there was not another word I was going to use other than blather. It just wasn't. But I do say things like gas rather than petrol. And I say water because it's the craziest thing. If I'm in a restaurant and I add one consonant that does exist in the word, if you read water, it is spelled W-A-T-E-R. If I say water, there is not a single person of service who's working at my table ever goes, okay. They always go, what? It's like when you say water, people don't understand what you're saying, so I have to say water. I have to say water.
I find that incredibly strange because where I'm from, nobody says water with a D.
Where are you from?
Alaska.
I haven't been to Alaska, so I don't know.
Literally the wrong part of the state.
And it's funny because I feel like up in Canada, in certain regions of America, there's more Scottish, and there's more, more consonants being said.
Well, I've been told that Alaska in particular has the least amount of accent.
Right.
That's
That's fascinating to me. I was in Thailand, and I was traveling. It was like 2000 or something. That movie, The Beach, had just come out. I was going to Thailand, and there was a gentleman from Alaska, and on my taxi. Now, a taxi was the back of a pickup truck, where you just hold on for dear life. Going along the roads at the time. It was just rough roads. And this gentleman, he lived at the end of an oil line 6 months of the year. 6 months of the year it's too cold. The other 6 months of the year he worked solo at the end of this oil line. And he was one of the most interesting people I've ever met. He got into Bangkok and got a tattoo. The first minute he arrived in Bangkok, he'd never seen 500 people in a room together. His school had under 200 people.
I went to school with about 70 other kids, and that was K through 12.
Exactly. He had a higher in survival. He had the way I have a higher in math or English. He had a higher in survival, whatever that qualification is. He was shaking like a leaf. It was so fascinating to me. I'd love to go there and I'd love to explore. That's so cool. Anyway, we digress. We're just in a private discussion about last night. Who's all been? What did you think?
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to look after it, don't we?
Yeah, I got it.
Yes.
Hi.
Hi, my question is, if you could have anything as a pet, real or mythical, what would it be and what would you name it?
Anything real or mythical?
Yes.
The dragon. Do you remember the movie Pete? Pete's Dragon? I was obsessed with Pete's Dragon. I was obsessed with it. I would just like a mini dragon. And then I could be the Queen of Dragons as well as Queen. I would honestly settle for a kitten though. I would really settle for a kitten. All my Instagram feed is kittens and puppies. Australian healers, I lost Australian healers in my news feed and all cat videos. We travel so much, it doesn't seem fair right now to do that. But I would settle for a kitten, but if I could, I'd have a dragon. But a miniature one, I just want it to stay small. Okay, thank you. Hello.
Hello, my name is Marty, I'm from West Virginia. So my husband
Blue Ridge Mountain?
not that far west.
That's one of my favorite songs.
Yes. My husband and I are planning a trip to the UK and Scotland in the spring. And as a native, I'm just trying to see what you would recommend, where you would recommend we would go, and any advice for traveling there for the first time.
Like a couple of times a year, I send out an itinerary. I just texted Jared and Jen a couple of restaurants in Edinburgh I feel like we need to go to.
Yeah.
You have to go see Edinburgh Castle.
Oh, absolutely.
It's kind of obvious, but you do it. And walk down the Royal Mile. Then go on one of the underground tours because the city of the new town in Edinburgh was built over the old town. When the plague happened, they just were like, oh, we'll just build on top of everything. You call it underneath. So there's always ghost tours under the city. You can eat at the Witchery, which is one of the culinary wonders of the world of the castle. Watch the Tattoo, which is the military parades from all around the world. It's part of the Edinburgh Festival. It's incredible. You have, it's okay. we have military bands from everywhere. They couldn't be more different from every place in the world. They're incredible. Is that enough to start with?
Much. Any advice, like, in traveling around, or I don't want to offend anybody?
There's a little bit of misconception sometimes about American tourism.
I'm sure. I've been to Ireland, so if it wasn't for the tourists, it would have been a fantastic trip.
The misconception is, I'll just be blunt, right? The misconception is that perhaps American tourists are maybe loud or not as polite. It's not true.
Right.
It's not true.
I tried.
And I think if you lead with being really sweet, people in Scotland, like, I just was in the supermarket in Scotland when I was just home. I'm going in 2 weeks again. When I was just home a couple of months ago, I paid for whatever it was at Aldi's at the supermarket, or a little discount supermarket brand store, and the lady, the cashier, was like, "You look after yourself, Hen." And she meant it. She meant it. It wasn't like, it was really nice. And I think because it's a smaller country, you can relate to people more easily. And so if you lead with like, I just love if you could tell me, or so I don't know, just you're lovely, just be yourself, it'll be great.
So, and you've taken Rob over there?
He loves it.
What would he recommend that I see? What's his favorite thing to do?
I think he just recommends you just listen. The Scottish people, just listen. Don't disagree with them. that could be a different thing though, I don't know. Just you'll enjoy yourself, it'll be great, it'll be wonderful. Have a wonderful time.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful time. Hi. Hi.
I'm Allie from Maryland, and I just want to know, what's your favorite joke?
What do you get if you cross an elephant with a goldfish? Swimming trunks. That was the first joke I ever remember telling as a child. I remember it, I remember learning it. My dad was a real good joke teller, a real raconteur, and I'll never be like him. He could remember jokes and always had a punchline. I remember really learning that joke. And do you know Christmas shows, pantomimes? They're really big in Scotland. It's like there's a day, it's way back when men were dressing as women on stage, and everyone loved it. It was all good, right? For decades and decades and decades. And so that would be the dame, and then there's dancers, and there's usually a lady playing the prince, and pantomimes are wonderful things, and it's a great introduction to children. We have audiences full of children. It's the first time they come to the theatre and they watch Cinderella, but there's like a Christmas twist on it, or Mother Goose, or whatever it is. And at the King's Theatre in Edinburgh, which is the big one, I had gone to see the pantomime with my school, and they said, okay, the first 3 kids to run up on stage and tell a joke get this goodie bag. And I saw these 3 kids run up on stage. So I didn't clock this, me being me, I clocked it. So anyway, I got taken back to the pantomime maybe a week or 2 later with my family. And I was like at the edge of my seat, I was waiting. And they're like, the first 3 kids to run up on stage and tell a joke. I was already on the stage. And I had my elephant and goldfish joke ready, like I'm good back. I just love jokes you can tell kids as well. You know what I mean? Nobody ever guesses swimming trunks. Nobody ever gets it. Hi.
I'm thank you. I'm Valerie from San Antonio, Texas.
San Antonio.
So my question is, over life we go through transitions from teenager to our 20s, to 30s, 40s, and so on. And over...
No?
Yeah.
No, I know what you're talking about. 39.
So over the course of time, I've noticed that my favorite room in my home has changed. So I'm wondering what your favorite room in your home is and why at this point.
There's so many different ways of saying this. You might know. I've always liked my bedroom. That's what I'm going to say. I still love my bedroom. I think I love my bed. I miss my bed. Don't you just love when you go to bed? Especially the older you get. And I spend more and more money I swear to God, I have Weston pillows that I bought after staying in the West End. Like we say lots of hotels doing this, like great pillows. They're not cheap. I was like, I'm having those pillows worth it. Yeah. I would say I've invested a lot. And I think like the ambient noise is important, and the blackout blinds, and the whole thing. But really, what I really want is a real big bathtub in my bedroom. That's what I'm gaming for. It might not fit right now. It might need to be a different house. But then I would never leave. I would just go from the bath to bed, back to bed, and have room service. Basically, I would like to live in a hotel. It's not changed. If you asked me my favorite place when I was like 15, I would have said my bedroom, and I'm saying the same thing. What's yours?
Well, when I was a teenager, I was so full of angst.
Say again?
When I was a teenager, I was so full of angst and just anger. My room was a place where I sequestered myself. And as I've developed a family, the kitchen became a more prominent place.
Yeah.
And as I started entering into midlife, I turned my downstairs living room into a home gym. And that is now my favorite room.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Good for you. I like your answer. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Let's hear it one more time for Lana Swain, Rob Benedict, and Richard Spade Jr. What's up? How you doing? We have autographs still. We have photographs, I think. Our show is derailed twice today, so my brain is about to explode. But hopefully I'll remember my alphabet today.
That's my microphone.
Just like I didn't remember that N came after M yesterday.
Love you.
Are you kidding me?
Thank you for letting us do this.
We love you, Krista.
We love you.
Love it.
We love you, Krista.
We love you.
Your dad always like splits his pants because he's dancing too much. So when they found split the scene, it's like you.
Yeah. That's perfect. Your family's awesome. It was great to get to spend some time with them. It's awesome.
I knew I should have invested.
I know. We've got to inject ourselves in the universe. Thank you. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day here.
Oh, I love your purse.
We got a hard night of pizza and bitching.
There you go. Nice.
That's how you do
Usual
it.
con Sunday.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Safe. Represent. Keep them safe. All right. Love you.
Love you. Who's that? Times 50. Fighting over it. Perfect air kryptonite.
Yeah, he was like, can't breathe with the guy.
Yeah. I love it so much. I know you will be.
Thank you. Love you. Thank you for everything. Thank you for all the joy.
As we've been celebrating, Krista this weekend, but I would just want to thank you guys.
I know, I think I've told you that like 3 times now, and it's still true.
Especially, ones that have been coming for a very, very long